going to call the meeting to order at 6:05. Roll call, first order of business. Sage Alexander is excused. Pamela Batchelor. Hello. Teresa Baxter. Here. Iris is supposed to be joining us online. Susan is excused. Susan Horowitz is excused. Susan, is it Jagers or Yagers?
Yes. Jagers.
Okay, is here on Zoom. Michelle Jones?
Yes.
Here? I haven't got to you yet, so. Danielle Cavany? Not here yet. Eve Lacey? Jennifer Miller? Yes. Melanie Unesky? Here. Here you are. Didn't see you there. Nettie Penman? Here. Okay, Jenny Rabolino.
Yes.
City Tiger, that's me. And Scott, I'm sorry, can you pronounce your last name?
Tillian.
Tillian?
Tillian.
Okay.
You don't pronounce the first L. Unless you're French, mine, so.
Great.
And there's one C has arrived.
And here's
Already walking over there.
Danielle Cavany. Over here, please. There's a name tag.
Here, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So. Sat. Susie.
Oh, thank you.
Laura and we're here. So, item number 3, welcome new commissioners. Welcome. I'm going to go around and ask everybody to introduce themselves and maybe tell us why you wanted to join the AIPP and were successful. So, Michelle.
Oh gosh. My name is Michelle. I live here in Longmont. I work at the library, the City of Longmont Library. I'm a librarian in adult services. I am back on AIPP. I don't focus on that too much, but I served for about 6 months, and then I was. Angela, you can explain that however you want. I don't know what.
Yeah, so there used to be a law, policy that was written into the code, in fact, that employees of the city couldn't serve on boards and commissions, with the exception of the retirement board and commission. And oddly enough, we have a lot of folks who live in the city that are passionate about what other people do in other departments, and we're actually like really reliable people. And so it came to the clerk's office and then up to the city manager's office that we really should reconsider. And so city council and the city manager's office and the city clerk's office put together a methodology by which staff can apply for other boards and commissions as long as there isn't inherent conflict of interest, so that there aren't really a lot of direct correlations from the different work that we do. So while Melanie, of course, is in planning and development, and we are back with library, and even though you're in our division, the bosses said, yep, that's okay, and so Michelle will recuse herself if there's anything that comes about. So if we do a project with the library, then Michelle will sit out of those conversations, so easy enough.
I figure we get that out of the way now. Hopefully not, folks, but I'm very excited to be back in more normal times. Before this was 2022, it was 2021, 2022. It was much more COVID-y, if you will. Yeah. So great.
Yeah. Well.
And you served on a selection panel.
I did, yes. I did Sister Cities, Ciudad Guzman, the gazebo at Flanders Park in Macintosh. When I had to step down as a commissioner, Angela was nice enough to extend the opportunity for me to be on a citizen selection panel for that. It was a wonderful experience. Yeah.
Okay, and a little interjection before we continue on. I have hearing issues, which are mostly cleared up now, but this is still a big echoey room. So if everybody, especially on that side of the table, could speak up, that would be great. I heard you just fine. So, Jenny Rabolino.
Yes, hi everyone, nice to meet you. I wanted to join the commission because I am a Longmont resident. I've
been in Colorado my whole life and just really interested in contributing to the community. So really excited to be here, and thanks for
Welcome. And Scott Tillian.
All right. I recently retired from planning director at the school district. I was a city planner here in Longmont way back. So I'm back in, going to meetings like I did in the old days, but this is more fun to me, art. I had a lot of crazy public meetings before as a planner, but I'm an artist at heart. I do art, and so this was my love to do. So glad to be here.
Welcome. Yes, how about a big welcome for
Yes.
All right.
Susan is online.
Susan, whoops.
Oops, sorry. Hello. Wait.
Hi, Susan.
Gotta make you bigger.
No worries. Hi, everybody. I'm sorry I can't be there. I had a pre-planned trip already, so I will be there in person next time. But Susan Jaggers, and I really wanted to join the NIST Commission just as a way to give back to our city, and this seemed like a really good fit for me and for my capabilities, and looking forward to working with everybody.
Excellent. All right, thank you, everybody. We also have Iris Hannon returning, and she hasn't signed in yet. I know she's traveling today, so to a different time zone, which confuses things.
That's true.
Okay, round robin icebreaker.
Yep, just because I'm a glutton, I'm making punishment, making you all do an icebreaker. Just because for folks who are new, it's wonderful for us to know about you, but you might want to know a little bit about us. So, we really struggled with what are the nasty, horrible questions that we're going to make you choose, and because we like you so much, we're going to give you 3 options. So we're going to go around the room and you get to choose which one you want to answer, and everybody has to participate. So sorry about that. But what is something quirky about you or your life? Because we're in the arts, right? So there that is. What notable fictional character or famous person, dead or alive, would be the most fun to have as a friend, and why? And or what are you the go-to person for in your social or family circle? You know what like a go-to person is, right? Like if you need a Band-Aid, go to Angela because she's got many Band-Aids in her bag, no problem, right? So yeah, maybe we'll just go right around.
I want you to start.
You want me to start? Of course you want me to start. So something quirky about me and my life is when Wordle started. My mom, my dad, and my siblings and I started a group chat, and we have one of us takes turns choosing the word of the day, and it is very competitive because we are a competitive group of people when it comes to games. But the best part is, as time has gone by and we have now years of this under our belt, it used to be, who had the big score for the day, but not so much anymore because we know who's going to win and lose. But the best part is, if you don't get your Wordle in by 7 a.m., then mom is choosing because she doesn't want to wait for you because you can't figure out what your starting word is. So, yeah, that's my quirky. That's where I come from. So, yeah, and I'm an average of a 3, sometimes a 4. If the first word is really awful, then usually 4. 5s and 6s are not my jam. So. I'm a big word game person. All right, Laura.
I guess I'll just go with what happened today. So I was telling Angela that I'm like a newfound Costco enthusiast.
Welcome.
I literally just go there to walk around to look at everything, and I get mad when my husband goes without me because I need to talk about all the deals and all the weird stuff. Did you see the trash can candle? Like, what? So I just joined last year, and I also feel like it's the most adult thing I've ever done.
No, it's a good result. I don't want to lose
All right, Cindy.
So I debated what notable fiction character I would like to have as friend, but then I saw the most fun to have as a friend. And I have to say, the most fun fictional character to have as a friend would be Winnie the Pooh. I would totally be on board. 100-acre woods, hanging out there all day, having picnics, finding the money. I would be all over it.
That's great.
Danielle.
Right. I'm struggling with this, but I'll say what am I the go-to person for my social family circle. If you don't know me already, I work for a brewery, so usually I'm the go-to person for any of your alcohol needs. And also event planning. I plan a lot of events, so I feel like if anybody needs help with any of that, I'm usually the go-to person. So, yeah. Noted.
Yeah, I know. You ever need me now? I'm gonna
I feel like 1 and 3 kind of go together for me. I am Boulder County's fastest knitter. I would say that's the quirky thing about me. So I'm always knitting. If I'm not knitting, I'm probably doodling. So I definitely can't sit still. And that's also what I am a go-to person for. If you need a knit hat or you need the graphic design, usually my family comes to me. And I'm Melanie Nesky.
So I don't know, this is very hard for me, but I guess one quirky thing about me is when we go on vacation, one of the things that I like to do, this is going to sound really strange, I love to visit grocery stores. I know it's very weird, but I mean, like especially little, local, I don't know.
The Piggly Wigglies.
I don't know. I've never been to a Piggly Wiggly, but especially regional kind of, little
Especially the
stores.
spice section.
Anyway, I know that's sort of a weird thing to do on vacation, but
To each their own.
I'm Jennifer Miller, and I am the juror and judge of the fastest knitter and crocheter contest every year. I've missed a few years because one year I had COVID and some other things have happened, but Melanie wins every year. Why do we even have this contest?
I can't compete this year though, so
You can't?
I can't. I'm going to be getting married.
Oh, that's right, you're going to be, okay, well, we're going to see who's going to take the title for the year. I guess, yeah, of course I'm kidding. I would like to be friends with Georgia O'Keeffe. I think I have studied her quite a bit, and I teach in Santa Fe a week-long class on her and her artistic inspiration, and she is pretty amazing. And I think she was actually pretty warm and ordinary from the way they present her. She was pretty warm and ordinary, although she was like genius and determined to have her own vision.
Yeah, see you, Stieglitz. I'm going to New Mexico.
That's right. She really wanted to marry him all that bad. Somehow he talked her into it when she was like 20.
Yeah. I'm Michelle again. I'm going to go two-prong. I would say go-to person in my like social family circle for telling it like it is, even though it's not an easy journey for me to get there. But when like stuff is kind of built up and there's something, elephant in the room, whatever saying, I feel like I'm the one that's like, I can't take it anymore. Let's talk about this. But then, and quirky, just because that was kind of quick, quirky about me in my life, I got engaged during the pandemic, and it was so frustrating and overwhelming to think of a traditional wedding, and I already knew that for many reasons beforehand, that I eloped this year at Callahan House with my parents to my partner Matt, and we had both of our sets of parents there. We did a first dance to a Barry Manilow song, and took a bunch of pictures, super fun, and celebrated by going to a virtual reality space station visit in Denver. And it was basically you put on a VR headset and you walk into a room and you feel like you're on the International Space Station. In the wedding dress and the tux. Tux. It was just a nice suit that he could wear again. But yeah, that was really fun.
Congratulations. Thanks. So Jenny again, I would say probably the quirkiest thing about me is my career. I've had a really weird winding road. I've been everything from a sushi chef to an airplane technician, and somehow or another wound up in HR, so it's
Oh,
I'm Pamela Batchelor, and I guess, I don't know if it's quirky or not, but most people who know me wouldn't think that I studied opera. I was in Opera Colorado for 10 years, so I was a professional opera singer for a really long time, and I have a degree in voice performance.
Oh, wow.
Hi, I'm Nettie, and I don't think I'm quirky, but I think my friends think I am. But I am definitely a water person, and if I'm anywhere near water, I have to get in it. And let's see, I went on a trip last winter, and I got into the ocean when I really shouldn't have. And like, there was a couple that I watched them get in and out ahead of me, and when they walked out, I said, how was it? And they said, it was thrilling and terrifying. And I went in anyway. That's it.
I'm Megan Peters. I am the Fund Development Manager here at the museum, and I would say I am the go-to person. I am the planner. I am the oldest daughter and a Virgo, and I will tell you what we're doing and when we're doing it and how it's going to be done, period.
You're my sister.
Yes, I am many people's, but yeah, I will let you know what's happening.
between the two of you guys, we got everything covered.
Yeah.
My name is Teresa Baxter, and the most notable person I'd like to meet would be Picasso. I think it's just, if you look at his work, I'd like to understand his brain and just sit down and go, what were you thinking?
Turn. So I'm Susie Valgo-Farian. I'm the council liaison, for those of you who are new. I'm thinking I'm going to go with number one, something quirky about me. So I don't know if you know, like, my line of work is kind of stressful. Not just the teaching, but city council as well. And so for downtime, and I think even the last, I don't know, 10 years, things have just, the political climate, everything's just like, it's just a lot of negativity out there. So something I do to decompress is watch the little cat videos, reels, and just to laugh, just like 30 seconds. I did find one recent at the beginning of summer, and it's actually this comedian, Nate Russ, who does the hashtag buggin'. So he's created like these little 1-minute reels of what bugs do when they come out for the summer. And so it's like it's like Days of Our Lives, but with bugs. So I'm on so now he's at number 34. And it's just like a minute. It's not very long, but it's hysterical. And I just to laugh and just to kind of get away from it all. But yeah, it's like when he misses a day, I'm like, dude, where are you?
I'm waiting. Stalker.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of weird, but.
So I've had time to go through about 14 or 15 of my quirks while they're
Yeah,
so, yeah, now I got to narrow it down. So I'm a mountain climber, and I was born in Nebraska, but I love 14ers, so I've climbed them all. And I've climbed many of them like 5 or 6 times, and I proposed to my wife on a 14er. And all my boys climb 14ers, my 2 boys, so some think that's a little quirky of my attachment to mountains and 14ers coming from the flatlands, but it's just the way I am.
Excellent. How long did it take to climb all of them?
So I started in 1980, and then I finished the last one in 2016, but I had done so many of them like multiple times. But so there was a period when the boys were little that I didn't climb so much. I didn't want their dad to die like when they were little or something. So I took a break, but when they were climbing with me and then they got better, And then they started rock climbing and sport climbing. But I thought, oh, okay, I can just go back.
Thank you, Mom.
Susan will, do you know which one you're doing so I can stop sharing my screen and put your face back up? Okay. I'm navigating. All right, there we go.
So I'll go with number 1, and we're actually out doing it right now. We have a 2001-year-old man. Her name is Sally, and so Sally takes us on all sorts of great adventures, and we're on our way to one right now. My husband and I are on our way to Silverton, and we just love to go around. She's been all over the place and explore and camp and have a good time.
All right, flip back to this.
Thank you, everybody. Moving on to number 4, public invited to be heard. Welcome, Megan Peters. Perfect. Who's going to discuss the museum expansion support.
I am. Well, thanks for having me. So I think most people in this room know, and if you don't, I'm certainly happy to talk your ear off about it, but the museum is expanding. It is very exciting. We have added and renovated some staff offices and support space just so we can internally be in a little bit better of a place. As I'm sure you may have noticed, the courtyard was torn out and renovated and with a brand new pavilion, and then the next phase will be we are renovating the entrance area and the gift shop, as well as adding a new, larger, flexible gallery space and building a dedicated children's gallery. So a lot of very fun, exciting stuff happening. More excitedly, we are 86% of the way funded towards our $8.1 million goal. Yes, it's been amazing. In 9 months, the community has really stepped up, and really the individual donations have been amazing and inspiring and really wonderful. And so we are celebrating this expansion, and we are celebrating the community, and we are hosting the museum's inaugural Sunset Soiree on Saturday, September 7th. This is actually the first fundraiser for the museum that the museum has ever hosted in over 80 years. So we are very excited. It will include a wonderful dinner. I met with the caterers today. It's going to be delicious. Cocktail hour, open bar, and then we are going to culminate the event with our first concert in the new courtyard with the Flatirons Jazz Orchestra. So I have some invitations. Some of you may have gotten them in your mail and or email.
I was like, oh, look at that.
We're so on it. We're so on it. But we would love for everyone in this room to attend. We'd love for you to invite your friends, invite your family. The more the merrier. I'm also thrilled to say that tickets are actually selling fairly quickly. So they went live yesterday, and we've already sold out 4 tables, which has been really exciting. So no pressure, but we'd love for you to buy your tickets sooner rather than later, and I will leave these where I am. Please feel free to take as many as you would like, and I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has them. Otherwise, I hope to see you in September.
But Megan, why is the museum expanding?
Because, such a good question. The museum's expanding because we've outgrown our space, which is truly amazing. We are, as you can see, every room has multi-usage. Our exhibitions team, who I could go on and on about how amazing they are turning over exhibits so quickly, and it's such an intense pace, and they want to do more, so they want a larger space so they can show off more of our collections, bring in more rentals, bring in larger rentals from around the world. And then I don't know if, I'm sure Angela and Laura tell you this all the time, but for those of you who don't know, we do also a lot of in-house builds. So the current Lego exhibit was pretty much 100% built in-house, which is incredible, by 3 human beings who we are fortunate enough to work with every day. So we are expanding because the community has demanded that we expand. We are not keeping up with the need, and we want to be a place of community for everyone to come and gather. We're so fortunate to have the auditorium and be able to offer a lot of amazing public programming, but the courtyard will mean that we can host bigger and more events our summer concerts are going to be even nicer because there's not going to be that huge divot in the middle of the grass anymore, so people can really sit. And then, as I'm sure you know, Longmont is growing at a rapid pace, and with that we're seeing a lot of young families, and so the need for a dedicated children's gallery is something that we have been aware of for a long time, and we've really heard about, and we want to fulfill that need. There's not a ton in this close-knit area that offers that, and it'll just be a really good opportunity to engage our museum goers from birth until death. What you hear?
Lifelong
learners. That's the word. That's the word I'm looking for. That's the word.
And
Tell me what
celebration.
it is, right? So yeah, so it's very exciting. The renderings are truly just gorgeous, and I'd offer to show them to you now, but you can see them on September 7th, where you come and learn more about what the future of the museum looks like.
And selfishly, of course, because this is a city project, Art in Public Places will, of course, receive 1% of the construction line. So it's also an amazing opportunity for an impending giant piece of something, rather or another. So that's going to be something in your future. As well as I would say that our local art community continues to look at the museum for opportunities, and you know, artists across the board want to be showing more, demonstrating more, and from the exhibitions team, they struggle often from the one gallery that we really have between family friendly and fine art, and so this is an opportunity to be able to serve both, and then continue to bring in curators and experts from different lenses and different fields, so it's not just people in this house that are telling the stories, but in fact that we're opening it up and allowing people to tell the stories of their exhibitions too. So now they can ask questions. Just kidding. None? Zero?
That's okay. So we'll take one of these, and then you can also learn more about the expansion and the event at our dedicated expansion website, which is supportlongmontmuseum.org.
And it's September 7th, Susan.
September 7th, 6 to 9.
Saturday, September 7th, 6. And we'll put that, we'll send it to you, email, right,
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent, thank you, that sounds
Thank
fun.
you, yeah, hope to see you all there.
Okay, now to actual business, finally. Additions and corrections to the June 20th minutes. Does anybody have any additions or corrections? Okay.
We did it right, exactly perfect the first time. Huzzah.
Good. Don't say that. I looked at we approved the minutes. Okay, that's right. So Eve moved to approve the minutes as written. Any second? I'll second. Pamela? All in favor? That's right. 11.
That's right.
Can we, do we count the people that were there?
So technically, if you weren't at the meeting, you shouldn't vote on the minutes if they're accurate or not, because you wouldn't know. So then the way that it will go is a yay, a nay, and an abstention. Want to try again?
Yeah.
Hey, we're getting started, right?
Everybody that was there want to vote to approve the minutes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 or 7, 5, 6. Any opposed? And all those people who didn't vote yes?
Or weren't at the meeting.
1,
Abstention.
Yep.
4, 5.
Great.
And that makes 11. Is that how many we have now?
Mhm.
Excellent. Oh, and Susan. Susan abstains.
Oh, yeah, she abstains, yes.
So that's
6
6.
abstains.
So that's 12. Altogether, 6 ayes, 0 nays, 6 abstentions. Additions and corrections to tonight's agenda. Any?
None, I have nothing to add, thank you.
Okay, none. Council comments, Susie.
Okay, so we have a packed agenda on Tuesday night. Looking at our general business, we will be discussing, so there might be some items that y'all will be interested in. One of them is getting the open space sales tax, extending that tax in perpetuity for our open space. So we'll be having a discussion and information back from staff about the language and getting that put on the ballot. So we did initially, I think it was in 2007. So I think in 2001, there was a tax or a ballot measure for having open space sales tax. And then in 2007, we voted to have it until 2034. And now, as you know, staff is looking at long-term plans, acquiring land, sustainability of the land we have. They're already making plans for 10 years and more out. So we've decided to put this measure on the ballot to have the tax continue on in perpetuity, so that, you know, in the effort to sustain the lands we have, acquire any other land that we should be acquiring for preservation, that we have the capacity to do that. So that we'll have a discussion on that on Tuesday. We will also be discussing the water rate study, possibly having to increase our water fees because of the additions, so with the changes to the Nelson Flanders and but the water tanks that we're having to repair. Some of the things that have happened were inflation, supply chain, and additional problems that are occurring. So we'll be hearing the full scope of that study on Tuesday, so if anyone wanted to listen into that as well. And then, so the work that we're doing we're also joint commissioners to the Longmont Housing Authority, and one of the projects that we are working on is a family. So we have a lot of senior living. I think we have one Aspen neighborhood that is a family development, but we really don't have more than that. So a lot of our housing through the Housing Authority is for seniors. So we do have, we had a plan in the works for a new project, it's Ascent, and that's at Hover Crossing. So there's a piece of land that the city owns, or the Housing Authority, that's slated to have housing in that spot. And we've decided to put family housing. So these apartments that will be part of the Housing Authority will actually be 1 through 4 bedroom apartments. And we've been able to look at, acquire funding, grant opportunities to have an early childhood facility there. And so right now we're looking at partners. Wild Plum is one that we're in collaboration with to have affordable daycare. So low to no cost daycare for residents who live there. Whoever doesn't take it, and if it's open spaces, then we can push that out to public. And then the other thing is, I don't know if anybody heard or saw the last council meeting, we had a pre-session to discuss our Councilmember Martin, who actually is having to deal with some personal issues, and so she's out of state right now. She's been joining us virtually since May, and we're getting to a point of, you know, residency. Us as council, we cannot tell her she needs to go. She has to make that decision on her own. I'm really kind of throwing this out there to hear feedback, especially those who live in Ward 2. So, you know, send us emails, let us know what your thoughts are, and as we're moving forward on, we've got to do something. We gave her the timeline of we can no longer continue virtual past December 31st. So she's going to have to really, you know, make some decisions and come back to us and what, you know, the next steps. Do we do a special election, which could be upwards of 300,000, or do we appoint someone until November of 2025? So it's a lot, but I think it's really important that we hear from Ward 2 residents, especially, but the community at large. And I believe, I'm going to go kind of fast, but yeah, does anyone have any questions for me? Okay.
Thank you for the work you do. It's
Yeah.
so stressful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, moving on to item number 8, shocker. And Laura's gonna tell us what the story is. Oh, the winning boxes are over there. Oh, cool. You can look at them on the way out or whenever. But those are the top vote getters in our public
voting. So, how many votes do we have? We're gonna go.
I will, yes, I will, I just, hold on.
Didn't see this coming.
Did everyone get an email saying thank you for voting for the shot card?
Yes, and
Wasn't that so
loved
fabulous?
it.
I know.
That was so
That was
cool.
great.
Yahoo, look at that. Well, and to say honestly, one of the reasons for saying, hey, thank you very much for voting and we got your vote is also to make sure that all of those email addresses are valid, so.
Susan, can you see my screen? Shocker? Okay, great. Okay, well, Susan will just hang out over. So, Shocker 2024, I think, was a very successful program this year. I really think that we had some of the best applicants we've ever had. The strength of the quality was just amazing. It almost made me sad to count all the votes because I wanted more than 6 to win. So let's get into it. So we had a total of 1,122 votes, and it was all in person this year. We did not have any virtual votes. And I was hoping also to capture 2 different audiences, so Old Town Marketplace, as I've abbreviated as OTM, and then museum. So it was beginning in Old Town Marketplace for about 3 weeks, and then we moved over here for the last 3 weeks. We ended voting on July 13th. So we actually had a pretty even amount of voting, which I was really, really pleased about because right now the courtyard is closed, so we just don't generally have as many people coming through during the summer. So that was awesome. I was very, very happy to see those numbers. Of those numbers, the most percentage was adults at Old Town Marketplace, and then the kids were 11%, so it was a little over 51% for Old Town Marketplace voting. And then museum actually brought in a lot more kid votes than I was expecting, which was great. It was really fun just seeing the real difference in opinions of the number one, the adults and the kids, but also from the people that were voting from Main Street to the Longmont Museum. So the clear front runners were always in the front, but then the middle kind of started shaking out right at the end. In terms of where the demographics of people were coming from, 54% were from Boulder County. And then 33% were from Colorado, which includes our neighboring counties, which are obviously very close to us. So Denver, Weld County, and Larimer County. And then only 7% of people were outside of Colorado, and then 6% didn't give me that information. All right. So compared to last year, we did have online voting and in-person voting. We had 170 less in-person voting than this year. Then online voting, we had 276. So we have a little bit close to 100 less votes this year compared to last year, which I still think is a really good number. And then from 2022, we had 708 people voting in person, which is 414 less than this year. But then online voting, we had 939, which I think is from the COVID voting, because we had such strong presence with COVID voting, and then it's kind of tapered off. So we have, in this year, less 525 votes than from 2022. But from the presentation that I did last year about online voting, we did generally get less people who lived here voting from outside of Boulder County. So I think that we're capturing an audience that is genuinely here at Longmont, comes to Longmont, visits Longmont, they live here, they work here, they play here. So I think that it's really nice to see that demographic really come and actually enjoy our space and, shop in our community and come to the museum. And it was awesome.
And they're growing up here. They're coming to the museum, they're engaged, and then they look around their community and they see something that they were a part of having in their community. I think that that's reaching demographics. As we talk about diversifying and we talk about reaching youth, like this is a good first little step. And it shows in the numbers clearly.
right, so winners are stacked here, but I just wanted to go through them. I'm gonna see if I can get Susan.
I think if you push the one little line at the top.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
that's
better.
better. So wiener dogs, strong winner. Clearly, very, very cute. How can you not love dogs in sunglasses? This abstract kind of landscape, moons. People really, really love that one. The jellyfish was an interesting one because it was a very strong favorite for the kids. And it's just funny because we live in a landlocked state and then we have jellyfish. This one was also a pretty big fan favorite. These just very well rendered birds. And then this is an artist that we actually have in the shop art collection over 3 times, so this will be her 4th box. This is Megan Sage. This one was top of the votes the entire time. Really? It literally did not move from number 1 the entire time I was counting. And everyone's like, ew, I don't like snakes. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know, there's just something so weird and appealing, and she just rendered it so well. And then this one is bees, but they're not bees, they're like fairies. But yeah, it's very cute. Very cute. Alright, and then I just wanted to kind of point out, we can't really see here too much, but these are the 7 boxes that we have slated for the new paintings. So we have a bunch that are kind of spread out. Last year we had a bunch in the southwest. This year we have a bunch in the northwest. We have one in the northeast, one directly east, right in the middle here, and then one in the south, south-ish west, south-ish west. And then, now, oh no, go back. So, we are going to vote for your favorites. I have given you this little piece of paper. It is less the numbers that are already winners. You get 4 votes.
Okay.
And we're trying to get to 1. There will be 1 commissioner's choice. You can't vote for the same box 4 times. You get to choose 4 boxes.
Okay, so I'm going to go through all of the boxes that are available to be voted on.
Go back to my class.
Yeah.
I'm taking a grad class on linguistics.
Oh, wow.
Thanks.
Does anybody need a pen?
But I'll be back.
Okay.
It is tough. A lot of information.
You're gonna go through all of these numbers.
But you are next level.
Let's see which ones you like the best, and if I get 7, I get the best.
You gotta cut down to 4.
Yeah, I'm not getting things done. All right, everybody knows the process? Thumbs up?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll go through them again. So this is just the beginning, and then we'll go through again, and then you will vote, and then we will tally.
Okay.
Okay. So here's box 1. Box 2. Box 3. Box 4. Box 6. Box 7. Box 8. Box 9. Box 10. 12. 13. 14. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 23. 24. 25. 26. 28. 29. 30.
32, and 33. Everybody got your 4? That was not easy, was it?
Yeah, I know, I need to do it again.
Yes. I'm not gonna say the number, I'm just gonna click through. So, we're gonna start again, just so a refresh of what we are choosing from. One thing I'd like to just point out as we flip through is remember, of course, that, you know, these really are 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional form, right? So it's important that we're thinking about this composition in the round. While, of course, the top, it's important that it's seen, you know, it really is seen from 4 sides. So, like sometimes people fail to remember like where we're putting this public art and how people are seeing it. All right, you got your 4?
Okay,
Just a question.
Yeah.
When you're preparing the people who are going to be submitting, is that something that you remind them about? I was just thinking about the donut box. It's like, you know, the top is, to me,
It's very clever as it is for
the size
for a sculpture, but as a utility box, somebody's going to see a big pink flat side, right? And not understand unless you're walking by.
Right.
Right. So Laura spearheading this program, we've developed a number of assets that we've tried to get over the years, not only to help artists improve their maquettes themselves, but also to really understand what in fact they're signing up for. And then also understanding that this really is an opportunity for young artists to learn how to do scale drawings, something from small, and then turn into big. So the program itself has multiple layers of dimensionality of improving one's submission over time for what it is. But yes, I think that that's something that we continuously try to drill home is, yes, does it look like, or you could think of it as 4 2-dimensional planes, or you could consider it a sculpture, but you have to treat it in the round. It has to be attractive in the round.
Well, I mean, too, because when people vote, they might not think about that either.
Nope.
And so they could vote for something where you end up with, you know, yellow sides.
Exactly.
one more time.
Sure.
I've tried to talk to people when they're voting, like when I'm sitting at Old Town Marketplace or whatever, tell people like, now think about it, how you're going to drive by this, how you're going to walk by this.
Yeah.
I try to drop that in.
Yeah. And I think that that's why even the engagement that happened at Old Town Marketplace during Second Saturday and having you all there to help people vote is also to help them put those synapses together. But as we get better with signage, as we get better with social media, which all of that is increasing with having, you know, Laura working on that specifically, the more visibility that we're getting.
But definitely the maquettes were far better quality than I've ever seen before. And we had some great design. There's really good designs this year.
Really, they were really good.
Yeah.
They were well made except for maybe 1 or 2.
Except for 1 or 2.
And
All right, we ready to vote?
Okay.
Okay.
do you want our names on this?
No, we're just gonna do raise your hand. You're just, it's for your own.
Oh, okay, got it.
Wait.
So you know exactly.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
So you get to raise your hand 4 times, right?
Okay.
And then we're gonna try and get it down to a majority,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Well, you can, that's okay because when you see it again. you can
Susan,
vote.
I think it would be easiest if you just put your numbers that you're voting for into the chat. And then I can look at it that way, if that works for you. Okay.
All right, can I just see the number 2 one more time? Thanks. I just can't tell. I'm like confused on that one for some reason.
I love
It's
this
Fox.
one, but
That's what I thought, but I was just like, there's so much going on, and I was like,
Fox is in it.
ice.
I
Okay.
think they're doing the mom though.
They're dancing. They're doing a foxtrot.
So will you show these as we vote?
Yes. Thanks. Okay. Everybody have their 4 votes written down? Okay, great. All right, so show of hands, who's doing 1 vote for number 1? So 3. Okay. 2. 1.
I do like this one too.
3. 0.
I'm done with it.
4. 1, 2, 3.
It's great.
6. Oh, wait, where did 4 go?
You do
5 is
out.
0. This is what happens when I'm doing
4 is 3, yeah.
Yes, so 6.
1.
7. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wait. There's
4. Oh, wait.
There was a
Okay,
slow-
so number 7.
there was a
1,
slow
2,
hand
3, 4. 4. Plus Susan also voted for 7. So that's actually 5.
We don't have anything on the pre.
Okay, 8. Here. 9. 1.
I like dragons.
There's some dragons.
10. Nice.
Wow.
2.
Wow, that's a big one.
I know.
I know.
I think this one could be real good for the side of the road.
12. Oh wait, Susan voted for 12. Susan voted for 12, so I know that. 13. 1, 2, 3, 4. 14. 1, 2, 3. This is Susan. 3 here. 16. 2. Susan, oh, 17, 2. Yep. 18. 19. 20. 21. 2. 23. 24. 1, 2. 25. 1, 2, 3. 26. 28. Like it? Nobody's like it.
I like that.
29. 1, 3. 30. 32. And 33. 1, 2, 3.
So I messed up on my counting. Can you add me to number 1? Can you just add one
Yes.
person to 1? Thank you.
Okay, so I think that it is 10 and 7. What do you have? Yeah, those are the 2 that have the most votes.
You guys get 1 vote.
Maybe 13, 7, and 10? Nope. Nope. Okay. We gotta keep this moving along.
She does this thing very cheap.
I've never seen that.
Okay,
She's found methods for choosing.
And what's,
you got 1 vote.
and it's 7 and 10?
7 and 10. So let's see. Here's 7,
Okay. Okay.
Cruisers,
and here's 10.
Oh.
minty, mid-century.
Is it like a lime, what kind of green-ish color?
It's like a very light, not, it's like a pale light green. Okay.
It's like moss. Well,
Or jade or
It's not
something.
like a mint, it's not a.
There's no blue, it's a green.
Like mint ice cream, kind of like
Yes.
dairy looking
Yes.
mint.
Yeah.
oh, this is tough.
Oh, mine just.
Really tough.
Is that the
It's got some
Longmont theater?
Nope.
Okay. It's cars or planes. Cars or planes. All right. Cars.
Okay.
Close.
And then 10.
Well, it's really
Seven.
colorful.
There you go, folks.
You all have a very eclectic taste in art.
Really do.
Alright, so it's your choice. Yay! Alright, next steps.
Or shout out to neighbors, that's group fest too, which is kind of great.
So what will the next steps be for finishing the project?
So, of the task force, Cindy Tiger, Eve Lacey, and then Pamela Bachelor, and then Sage, who's not here, are on the task force. So we need to figure out when to meet so that we can decide on placement of the 7 locations that I showed you versus which boxes are going to go where.
Okay.
Of the 3 of you, who is coming to the Monday? Okay, so would you be okay to meet before our meeting?
I'm already coming at 3:30, I don't know that I can
You're-
come late, earlier.
You can, 3:30 will be fine, you guys can do
I
that.
mean, it won't take us long, right?
You've already done timing before, so you know what you're doing.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not on the task force.
Yeah.
So,
3:30.
so 3:30 on Monday?
Which I have to go pick up food at 3:30, unfortunately.
Oh, that's right.
Can we do like 4? No, 4 is too.
You know what, Laura?
Just do.
Pamela and I could sit down and decide which box
Well,
goes
Eve
where.
is also in that.
Yeah,
Do you mind if I join?
Well, yeah, but I
Would
thought
you
you
come,
said
would you
couldn't
come together? Yeah.
You said you couldn't
Just
come.
do 3:30, I'll sit there, they can discuss, and
I
then
was
when you
already
get there, you can have a, I mean, it's not gonna take long.
No, no, no,
6
no,
boxes, you gotta pick out where they go.
Okay, so I'll just,
So I'm confused though, are there 7 locations and 6 boxes?
So,
There's 7 boxes, I'm sorry. There's 6 winners and then you just chose the 7th one.
Thank you.
Yes.
We will float, sorry. So what did we decide, 3:30?
yes, please.
Yes.
3:30.
okay,
At here?
Yes.
At here.
upstairs or here, in this room? Okay.
Is this where the presentation's gonna be? Okay, rather than on this stage. Cool.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay, I need to get a motion to proceed with the selections that we selected, all the ones that got voted for and our commissioner's choice, so that we can get the artists under contract. I need a motion to do that.
I'll make a motion.
There we go.
second it.
Teresa. All in favor?
You got 1, 2, 6,
10, 11, and Susan?
Susan's raising her hand, yes.
Okay, so that's 12 ayes. Any opposed? There's nobody left. No abstentions. And the motion passes. Okay, next, Clover Meadows.
Okay.
Angela,
I'm
take
gonna
it
be
away.
cooking with gas, okay?
I want to see it. Okay. And then you eat this. And I eat this.
How do I do? All right. Clover Meadows was voted on June 17th, and so risk management and legal had an internal review of all of the presentations immediately afterward. And this, at the initial, the large bike chain went over the pathway in this kind of mountainous looking construction, and the selection panel knew doggone good and well that risk management was like, no, that's a climbing hazard, we can't have that. But we got to a place where we understood that the original design versus in the inception and the concept of the design versus what was going to be able to move forward is very different. Sorry, Susan. There we go. Are you seeing it now? You can just nod your head, I see you. Okay, there we go. And so the the idea, of course, of the piece is that there are these bicycle cogs and they have some negative space through them that has some mesh, and the mesh is colored. And then there are 4 bicycle pedals which will serve as benches. And the location of the piece is actually right next to the bike pump park, which is the first of its amenity of its kind in any of our parks in the city. And the bicycle chain itself is actually repurposed from a ski lift. So everything here is 10 times the size, or some gargantuan scale up of what is actually reality. So it is this kind of very whimsical, but also functional. And then of course you'll see the leaning into the referential imagery of Longmont. So the one on the left with the very abstract mountains is the newest branding pieces from the Longmont logo. And then the one on the right is a more figurative, stylized version of the piece. So this is approved internally, and we have, the artist has the contract presently, so we are moving forward, which is wonderful. So here's just another look of, there won't be any footholds along this chain for climbing, because that's our #1 concern. Mesh, so people won't be able to like launch themselves up. All the corners, of course, will be rounded, and then the ADA compliant height of the benches, as well as the fall zone. This rendering is very close to the edge of the concrete, and it will be a little bit further away. Our parks folks are very excited, and so here's a look at the park, if you will, Heather Hill and Old Ranch. All of this is a very south portion of the town and new development, and so this is turf, this is playground, shelter, and your amenities for your restrooms and things along those lines. There's an orchard of fruit-bearing trees over here, which was one of the options for our artists, but actually, oddly, I thought oddly, none of the artists went in the direction of putting something in the orchard area, but pretty cool. It'll be years and years and years until they're fruit bearing, but there it is. And then this on the northern side is the bike pump park. And so from the neighborhood, there is a concrete trail that comes in this way. There's also one that comes in from the east, and then our benches will serve as the little reprieve right here. So it's looking really good. We're full speed ahead. Anybody have any questions about Clover Meadows project?
I'd like to say that I saw the first rendition with the chain that went over the top, and I like this one even better.
I'm in complete agreement because I was on the panel. I like this better as well.
Yeah, I like the mesh in the spokes, I'm going to call it, so that you can't like put your head in there or get trapped or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I like they really look with the pedals, benches, they look good. I like this even better.
I'm in agreement.
Yes, I think it's great. What is this mesh made out of?
It's metal kind of mesh. You ever been on a playground that there's like a metal mesh that almost has like a rubberized treatment over the top of it?
Okay, that's what I thought.
So the spingy holes, like it will be so tight of mesh that little kid fingers won't be able to get in.
Good.
Good.
And the construction, as I understand, is somewhat of a sandwich. So you'll have, metal on the outside, meshy on the kind of inside, and then metal on the outside. So any of these lines that in the rendering, of course, looks like places where you would be able to step and launch yourself, like those are, tiny spaces.
The picnic benches out of underneath.
Yeah, so he and I went back and forth with height today, and I think the overall length of the piece is going to be dependent upon the installation, of course, but I think that our maximum height is like 90 inches. So it's still, relatively gargantuan.
I love the way it looks like the chain goes under the sidewalk. I like this really a lot.
Yeah, I agree. As for public art, I would say this is very successful. I've never seen anything like this before.
Wow. Really nice resolution.
Yeah, it's great.
Somehow or another,
Great.
really the best.
All
So,
right.
and you'll let us know when the contract's all signed and
Like, seriously, I don't know what he's doing tomorrow, but he said that he was doing it. And we're so fancy, of course, that we require ink and notarization. And you can't email it to me, right? You have to send it in ye old fashioned FedEx, so by Monday, I would think.
You guys don't use DocuSign?
Nope, not for this. And the reason is because, I think this is fascinating, I'm gonna, because it is work for hire, and there is a section in there that they have to be understanding that they are not an employee of the city, but in fact are work for hire, that somehow or another, notarization is more binding in the legally world than a simple DocuSign for this. So, yeah, that is, it's not even the mayoral signature that's the DocuSign problem. It's the differentiation of employee, and then of course subsequently all of the insurance requirements, et cetera, et cetera. We will not pay your workman's comp when you are welding and you make mistakes or something, you know. So yeah, I asked that question though. I was like, are we grown up enough yet? Angela. And it's all public art. We will, every contract that I ever do, even the shop art ones, have to be.
I'll make a note of that.
Some things are a mistake that I can do.
It's crazy.
So I know I'm massively leaping ahead, but
It's okay.
10,
Yes.
you get the contract from Monet. What is the ETA for this?
He has already begun fabricating and putting pieces together, which, you know, that's his decision. That's what, you know. But I think that these are some of the, because it's upcycled materials, I think that these are some things that he has in his shop.
Yeah.
And he's been working on composition. I set him up with structural engineers who do artwork here in Colorado, or stamp approved for Colorado, and he has that all lined up. So I think he's like ready to fabricate and get out here pretty quickly. And then the Parks Department is already talking to me about their concrete timing. So I think we could be moving real quick. We could be installing when the weather is nice and the ground isn't frozen.
Like September, October?
No, November, January maybe, depends on what kind of winter we have. But if the concrete's in, then the rest of it's cake.
Yeah.
It's the concrete that, yeah.
I'm so happy about it.
But I mean, when I say spring at the latest, like February.
Okay.
And the park is technically supposed to open end of September. So as soon as he can fabricate and we can install, moving right along.
Really?
Sorry, other questions? You want me to just keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, number 10, Fox Meadows Park.
So Fox Meadows Park, the selection panel of 7, that's 5 residents and 2 of you, reviewed 77 viable applications. We received over 100 of them, but everybody wants to do a mural. And this isn't a mural project, so whatever. So 77 applications that were viable. Of those, knocked them down to, of course, 20%, and then sat together, had their meeting in June to get the short list down to 3 final candidates. Those candidates agreed to put proposals together, and those presentations will be happening Monday, this upcoming Monday, in this room. We'll be starting promptly at 4 p.m. At 4 p.m., I'm going to be giving the overview of the process, how it's happening, show everybody the matrix by which you vote. So it's an equitable process. We're looking at the scope of work. We're looking at what it is that we are looking to receive. Risk management and I sit down Monday morning and go through, but I've looked at them and I think that we have 3 fantastic options. I really think everyone is going to be very pleased. So that's wonderful. I haven't seen the timelines. I haven't seen how the budget shake out. I just looked at our, so there's that. The 3 artists, 2 of them will be in person, 1 of them will be on Zoom. We're going to start with 1 in person, then we're going to stop and have some nosh and dinner, sit down and watch the Zoom one, and then have the next in-person one, a little bit of a break, while not discussing artwork, of course. Buy a break and fill your water bottles. And then we'll have a public invited to be heard for 3 minutes. I can't imagine
2 minutes a person.
per person, similarly to city council. I would be surprised if we didn't get a handful of residents from this neighborhood who are passionate about what they want to see, and I can't wait to hear what they say, because I think we really knocked this one out of the park. It's a little on the nose, but that's just me. And then we'll have discussion amongst ourselves. Everybody, you know, again, public invited to be heard means if you are not on the selection panel, you are public invited to be heard. It's usually pretty organic. I think the conversations are pretty organic. And then we'll have the selection panel vote. So this is a rendering, of course, of what the park looks like, but I think that it's actually relatively accurate.
Is this really it with the sledding hill and the dog
It
park?
really is. I'm there every Sunday. It really is. I'm super excited about
Before you said that wasn't it.
Well, okay, so the fenced dog area is no longer. So you ready to see the real? You're gonna be so impressed because this is what it looks like. It's actually, so where the dog park was is now native seed. Okay, so because we flood, we have to make these parks to be retention ponds, right? Okay. So this is actually culvert, like to take, I'm probably using not the right words, but you know what I'm saying. Area where water goes down, and then in the middle of a flood, this is what starts to fill up. So this is all native seed. This is evocative of trees. There's a giant electrical line that goes along here. So depending upon what park it is and its size, we'll have to pull in electrical easement. So depending on what it is, there might not be a lot of wiggle room here. Risk management does not want any sculpture along here, so we're not confusing playthings with sculpture. I was like, that's fine. Roundabouts are out. Up along that area, there's native seed there, but then this is all lawn. And then there's all of this area. And then there's 2 big corners, I would say, from entering. So this could be one area, and that could be the other. The only negative piece about this is that those are houses right there. House. And I love our neighbors, but sometimes I don't like having those conversations of, we're putting a big thing right there. So depending upon what it is, you know, the siting is variable, but I think we're just going to have to be really smart about placement.
Is there a sledding hill?
There is. That
Yeah.
long top, right along the top, that's all where you can slide down.
Yeah, so it
Steep and
tapers
long.
down. And it's because when they excavate, of course, to make detention area for drainage, they have to put the earth somewhere.
Yeah.
So they're just going to make the hill even higher.
That's good.
Yeah. They're pretty smart over there. Pretty smart.
Do you know what the chess tables are gonna look like? Is it like the built-into, where
Say it one more time.
the chess tables, are they like, do they have the board on the table kind of thing?
I don't know.
And I'm really excited about the bocce ball.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Super excited about that.
About the what?
Bocce ball.
Yeah.
Bocce ball.
So this is design build, so at any given moment when something comes back and it is astronomically too expensive to do, the list on the right rather, is all the things that they can start taking away because they can't afford it. But I mean, construction's happening, so, but sledding hills will likely very much be there. Yeah. Any questions on that one? This is probably a spring installation.
Has anybody RSVP'd to Angela for Monday that hasn't already?
Or we could just do raise hands now. I
Oh,
was planning on coming for,
I told her I was coming.
yes.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
I'm willing to help her, whatever you need. You want to do timing?
I will need volunteers to greet artists and
Oh, yeah, we have.
also to help me gather questions. Do you want to help me with that?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm totally on board for the cleaning up
Thank you.
because they never want to leave.
That's wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you. Any questions about Fox Meadows?
And what time will we finish up, do you think?
I moved everything up as early as I could so we weren't here until 9 o'clock, but
Probably 8, between 8 and 9. Okay, all
it's
right.
gonna be a long night. I will be leaving.
And don't forget to keep track of your hours.
so that we can, okay.
Is it possible, I really can't see this.
Yeah,
Is it
sure.
possible to get a copy of it, or is it on?
This is better.
They do have a website, I know, for Fox Meadows specifically. I'm not sure if this is on there.
I mean, I can talk to Steve about what to send into the world. Of course, I mean, all things with the government are records that technically you could have, but it should come from somewhere else. Once they really like break ground, then whatever it is going to be pretty well locked in stone. I think that this design is called a 90%. So it's about as,
Now I can see it, so.
yeah.
I thought they were breaking ground on June 25th. That's
It's
what,
completely possible.
yeah, okay.
So that snaky dotted line there, is that a retaining wall of some kind?
Snaky dotted wall.
Maybe the
Yes.
property value?
I think it's a walkway edge at playground.
Single stone retaining wall, stone edge playground.
Because that's where it really dips in. It's
Cool.
pretty deep.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to putting a big giant thing there.
I wonder what Fox Meadows will choose.
Is it gonna have a dog park still?
No.
No dog park.
No. I think I had to do something with the water, which makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Any questions? Anybody have any questions about the selection committee? It's really fun. And there's food. And there's
I do have, but Laura, are you going to send us the winners of the boxes so we know? Because
Yes, I'll send that all ahead of time. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
You can just follow up with an email with the pictures since we're voted on. It's, I mean, they're not under contract yet, but if they
Yeah,
decide not to go under contract, that's their fault.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Maybe we don't go streaming out to the media, these are the winners, these are the winners. So they end up in the newspaper before we're under contract, but, you know, for our eyes, you know,
stones. Anyway. Okay, next, Nature's Way, the never-ending Nature's Way.
Yeah, but I have a service contract that I think that all parties are agreeable to. So the conservator is waiting in the wings for their deposit, and I need ink before that can happen. So this is absolutely going to begin and end in 2024 this summer. So just so you know, Nature's Way consists of a number of components. We have all of them assessed for remediation and conservation, and then we had to, of course, bid out that work. And then we have a conservator that was selected for that work. What the work that we agreed upon is going to be stabilizing the trees, which I'm going to call trees, to the right, because they're not stable.
They're cracking and falling.
That's the other way you could say that. So, yeah, we really don't want them falling over, and it came to making a decision of either save them and put the money into it, or take them out because they're becoming a hazard. The other pieces that the leaves, I'll say, of the trees are actually whirligigs and kinetic, and so part of the conservator's work is to be getting up and taking care of those bearings and making it more available so to be more kinetic, or maybe just not so difficult to move around in the wind. So yeah, they're gonna get it freshened up that way. And then, of course, the fish fountain on the left is a functioning water fountain that's missing a number of tiles, and then the same kind of thing holds true. I'm gonna call it stucco, I don't think that's in fact the material, but some sort of that. So all of that is going to be repaired, stabilized, and then a sealant, obviously, on all of this to help with our graffiti problems.
Can I ask, are all the new people, do you know where this installation is?
Yeah.
Everybody knows where this is?
Southmore. Okay. Yeah, it's just right across here from the museum. If you just went straight across Whale, that turns into Missouri.
It's right over there.
Yeah, I mean, and that half obviously is highly trafficked with our neighbors. And then the other components, there's a couple of benches, there's a couple of other components, some of which we can do in-house, some of which we're gonna have to talk for another day. So, so the treatment, the maintenance treatment that was just, that you voted on previously is these two pieces, so. Hopefully by the time we talk next, I can tell you that it's done. That's the goal.
Like next month?
It's not gonna take a long time, it's just agreeing on
Excellent.
all things.
Are they cleaning up the graffiti as well?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was just like, I'm honestly kind of surprised that we're keeping them up now, like after all said and done.
So that was part of the delay, was because I had to add to the work scope because before there was no graffiti on it.
Totally.
And so then the conservator came back out to see if they had materials that they thought would even be able to clean it up. Because if they didn't think that they could clean it up, then I'm not gonna go under contract with them because that doesn't make any sense.
Totally.
So that was part of the delay. That's like the song that never ends. But it would have really helped if those turds didn't tag.
Oh, the timing of it was so great. I was just thinking about it on my way here today. But yeah, okay.
After all these years to have finally have it.
I know,
have
all
done
these
this
years,
for
it's been 20 years.
Suddenly somebody says, oh, look, there's a
Yeah.
lot of.
There's been a lot of tagging around that area, not just on the
There
Garber.
really has been.
Yeah.
But this is a perfect example of when choosing and commissioning artwork, we look at materials and decide what can hold up over time to public use and abuse, right? And it's one of the reasons that I'm such a stickler about sealants and graffiti. And I know that on the murals, there are a lot of communities that don't invest in the primers and the sealants. But in 20 years, in 15 years, in 10 years, they're gonna have to make some big decisions about getting rid of it or reinvesting twice as much as they put in. So, yep, we gotta take care of our stuff, so.
Okay. Any questions? Anybody have any questions about that? Number 12, Collier Park label and signage.
So I have the
Something that never
graphic design pretty well done, and the cost to do one is astronomical versus the cost to do a number, as you have all known. But we have temporary signage out at Collier now, and I think that it's working-ish. Laura and I got to go rock shopping, so that was fun.
I love rocks.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh,
I never knew how to buy rock tax exempt before last week, but so
It's out there too.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh.
It's out there.
Yeah. Well, it's actually cobble because
We looked at the big rocks and they were too big.
and they're like $500. And
And then I was like,
$500 a rock.
this rock in this pile of rocks.
That's like this big, and it's still like too heavy for somebody to pick up. A backstory, this piece and some of our other pieces have had labels on them with posts in the ground that have been concreted in, and I don't know if somebody's kung fu fighting or whatever, just like kicks it and takes it out, and so then there's no label anymore. So, but backstory too is that we've invested previously in these giant brass plaques, but you spend hundreds of dollars on them and they're not in Spanish. You can't put a QR code on them. They're not easy to change in and change out. So we're switching this whole project up to something that's aluminum and we can kind of be more malleable with.
There's a picture right there of a rock with a sign on it.
Yeah, and that is an old, brass plaque and whatever, and that's fine. But in this day and age, we have a lot more information that needs to be on those plaques. So instead of doing the post in the ground for this particular Collier Park, we bought a rock. And it was so much trouble for the guys to figure out, number one, how they were going to load it in our van into our wheelbarrow and do tax exempt and use my credit card. They're like, please, just take the rock. But I did make him weigh it and tell me how much it was going to cost because we were looking at these beautiful big boulders for hundreds of dollars a ton or whatever. He's like $11.80. I was like, sir, I will be back and I will spend money here, but we're going to take our rock and be done with this. It was like days of work, but we have a rock.
Was it Colorado Materials that you went to?
Yeah, the Pioneer.
Yeah, I go
Over near the sugar mill.
I love rocks.
They were lovely. But yeah, even just getting on the phone with him and be like, okay, I need to buy a rock, and it needs to be like this, and I don't know how much that weighs, and it's got to kind of be flat. And he's like, oh my god, just come and see what we got. So anyway, now I know. I'm totally ready to go rock shopping again. No problem.
And it is sitting there at the base of the sculpture right now, yes.
It is, yeah. So then we didn't know how we were going to unload it, and so we brought all these like garden tools in case we had to dig in, and it took like, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We were able to like get it in
We just
there.
like flipped it out of the truck into the wheelbarrow, pushed it over.
This is a
flipped it
missed
in,
opportunity for the Instagram page.
It was embarrassing.
It was-
honestly for the rock.
It's the best
Actually,
content.
the rock was just like, man, this is what I'm gonna live as now.
Yeah,
like
it was.
adventure.
Yeah, and even the parks department, they were like, just have it delivered, we can't help you. I was like, no, I'm not paying.
Yeah, the delivery was gonna be.
That's
it's
perfect.
It's a way better story. But we have a rock, I'm working on labels, I promise, we're getting there. It's just, it's a thing.
Did you write "Watch the Space" on it?
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, so that's it.
All right, so, and you're getting multiple bids for the signs for the pieces that have no
We're
signage.
starting there, yeah.
All right.
We have to
Oh, I
prioritize.
have one more comment on the
Yeah.
top. We did, Nettie and I did go down to the Tyco concert in Collier, and we had the AIPP pop up there, and we had a real fun, I've had a fun time anyway. And we were very near the sculpture, and part of what we're supposed to do is keep the kids, but there were so many parents there that we didn't really, it wasn't really required. Everyone was on good behavior in the park.
Because they saw you there though. If you weren't there, they would have been planning on it, no doubt, but.
Well, yeah, that's true. I have seen the kids vault up there in a nano set.
Yeah.
More than once.
Okay, as we can see, our next item is the Safety and Justice Center.
So you may have seen in the newspaper and on social media and everywhere that the Safety and Justice Building rehabilitation project is in a phase where they've had to move the entrance to the other side of the building, and they will start rehabilitating this north side, which is going to be extremely publicly visible, and when folks start seeing how the clock tower and the artwork are going to be coming down, I can't imagine that there might be screams and yells and really upset folks, which is fine. And the city, not just myself and Art Public Places, us, but also the facilities department, the safety and justice, I'm saying the department wrong, those folks that work in that building, we have a communication plan for the community. So when people come to us and say, well, what about the thing and the thing and the thing? I say, I can tell you about the public art. If you have questions about the other bits and pieces and things, here are the people you can talk to. We have party lines ready to go. No, we cannot salvage materials from this project because it is so, they're taking down so much that to be able to dig and get bits and pieces out, it's just not possible. So if...
And you as the public can't come and take souvenirs.
No, please, stay on the other side of the fence, yeah. So if you see something out on social media, if somebody says, you're on our public places, how did this happen? Please just send them to me so I can get them to the communications department so we can just assure folks all of their big, bad, scary questions.
If anybody sees comments on social media, let Angela know.
Yes, please.
What you saw.
If you respond of your own accord, not on behalf of our public places, please.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so we have de-accessioned this piece last year.
Into session.
So it's not really our public place anymore, but it was.
Yes.
Correct. All right. History under wraps.
Okay, so our fall selection for History Under Wraps is going to be coming about. We will need a task force for photo research and the project. Basically what it means is that you will be looking at a series of photos from the archive and bringing ones that you think would be interesting for the traffic cabinets to the task force, and then we'll review and decide on a smaller number, a 6 to be exact. And I put this one up because it's the best photo I think It's messed up. It's 1980 at the fair, and like the one girl's gonna barf, and like, all their hair is going and things. And then when we spec'd it out on the traffic cabinet, it doesn't work like at all.
That's too bad.
Because these photos, of course, are mostly originals, mostly from the archive, a lot from thousands of them from Times Call. So the resolution sometimes can be different based upon what the photo's condition is in the beginning. So it actually is quite a bit of work of finding just the right photo that fits just the right way. And I think that the group who did it previously did a great job. We are going to be doing, of course, 12 of these a year, 6 in the fall, and then 6 in the spring. So there's lots of opportunity for anybody who wants to participate to do it. I just want to be, really upfront about the photo research. Kind of takes a long time. I think I will have a little bit more guidance for you of the specs that you're looking for, so you can think of the image needs to be a little bit further away so we can really crop to get it to the spec size. And then that there will be 2 meetings and trying to make sure that, when we're meeting works kind of with everyone. So if you're an evening meeting kind of person, like maybe we try and get evening people together for one season. And then if you're like a morning kind of person for meetings, like we try to do it that way. So, and with that, I'm ready to get going on this. So yeah.
I'd like to say that going through the museum archives is really easy because you get to the archive and you think, what do I want to look up? I want to look up pumpkins, and you type in pumpkins, and then you get all these pictures that have to do with pumpkin pie day and farming and pumpkins. It's really fun. And then you think, I want to look at trains, and then you get all these train pictures. And so it's not like just paging through 1, 2, 3, 4,
It's
trying to
really
figure out.
interesting.
You think about different things, flooding, and you get flood pictures, and it's really fascinating. I really enjoyed it.
It's kind of, it's like a historical marker of Longmont, and stuff you didn't even think that, oh wow.
Indians.
Yeah, well,
motorcycles.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
just all these things. It's really interesting.
And I didn't even realize we chose that Corvette that's at 3rd and Martin, and I didn't even realize that was like the county fair or something, because it's got the little county fair queen or whoever sitting in the back. I didn't even realize it. We're looking at the pictures. It's great. I love that picture.
I like the motorcycles.
And then to add to it, this was another great opportunity for us to work on our mission of getting the museum visibility out into the community through public art. So there is, of course, an online tour through our online tour platform for our Art on the Move right now. These, which we'll continue to do, and I'm forgetting what else, the Quail Campus and downtown. So we have 4 right now. For folks to visit and see these things outside of in person in the digital world.
Have we got an idea about which boxes?
No, I would like to go back to our friends in traffic and say, look at how successful they were. Like, I know that you are concerned about these being very distracting. Like, okay, 17th and Main, no, we're never gonna put one there. Okay, but along Main, I know that it's a state highway, but I think we can make some exceptions. So I'm gonna go take in some chocolate and say, let's talk about.
All you have to do is look at Loveland.
That's what I was about to say.
They're all
Yes,
on 287.
They're on 287.
Right, and they look like people who are gonna jump out into the intersection, because that's the one thing that the director of traffic told me, is that he was worried that people were gonna get confused that it was a human about ready to go.
Green, blue, black.
So
They don't even stop for the humans.
I know, but the one that we have with figures that are the most life-size is the motorcycle picture at Pratt & Pratt.
I love
And
that.
it's the best one. With their cigarettes and their
I know, they're so cool.
yeah, it's really good. So no, we don't know, because if we chose the cabinets that they've given us already, they're kind of meh. So I'm gonna fight for more visible Yeah, but you get to choose that too. If you sit on the task force, that also is a big part of this.
Do we need,
which image goes.
to see a show of hands?
Yeah, like you want to see it, working on it. Yeah, okay. All right, 1, 2, 3, hold on.
Six.
Jenny and Nettie and Scott and Danielle. I thought it said Eve and Danielle and Rick. Okay, fantastic. There's pretty much homework that you get to start with. Susan also wants to be. And Susan Jagers, thank you. Thank you, Susan. I'm doing my best to do that. Okay, and that's that. History and the rest.
Okay, and everybody's favorite topic, maintenance. How are we doing on the maintenance? I did mine.
Good, I'm doing better.
So I'm gonna comb them and look for some of our dangers. I can tell you right now, we need to address Left Hand's Picnic. It's time, and the community
That's
wants.
the fountain that's right out front here.
No, it's the,
Oh, that's
it's
the couple. Oh,
it's the angry
Because you
ants.
left hands.
I did, Left Hand's Picnic.
That's
It's
what
the
it's called.
ants.
It's the
Yeah.
ants.
Yeah.
Ants.
With all good intention, there are people who just really want to take paint cans out there and get it done, and I was like, please don't. So that's, I think, the biggest one. But yeah, so next month, we'll bring up the list again, and we'll assign maintenance, go from there. I think we're gonna assign maintenance first, and then we'll talk about which ones we're gonna prioritize for 2025 in the fall.
Does anybody need any maintenance printouts currently? Okay.
Okay, new business, anyone?
We're pretty full of business.
Yeah, pretty full business. Commissioner comments? How's it going?
We're quirky.
Okay. Susan, you're good? Then, I need a motion to adjourn. Everybody wants to say. Motions to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
And Melanie seconds.
Okay.
All in favor? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Bye.
12. Any opposed? No. Any abstentions? No. And we are adjourned at 7:37.
Woo-hoo!